All right, let's talk about timing. If you're trading intraday in the Indian markets, you've got a 6-hour window. But what if I told you the entire game isn't won over 6 hours, but in one single perfect hour? We're going to find that window today.
Seriously, think about it. The market opens at 9:15 a.m. and closes at 3:30 p.m. That feels like a marathon, right? But the truth is, the most critical profit-making moves, they often happen in this incredibly short, explosive burst. So it's not just about what you trade, it's really about when.
You know, the secret to getting the timing right is to stop looking at the trading day as just one long, flat timeline. Instead, I want you to think of it like a 3-act play. Each act has its own personality, its own main characters, and a completely different set of rules.
So here's our playbook for the day. Act 1, that's from 9:15 to 10:30 a.m. That's all about the crazy opening volatility. Then you've got Act 2 from 10:30 a.m. to 2 p.m., which is kind of like the quiet midday lull. And then for the big finish, Act 3 from 2 p.m. to the close. Understanding this rhythm is, well, it's everything.
Okay, let's kick things off with Act 1, the opening bell. This is the real power hour. It is absolutely the most active, most liquid part of the day. This is when the market is trying to figure out all the overnight news, what happened in global markets. It's where the action is, for sure. But, and this is a big but, it's also packed with traps.
Now, here's the key. This first act really has two totally different scenes. Those first 15 minutes, from 9:15 to 9:30, a lot of pros call that the amateur hour. It's just pure chaos. But right after that, from 9:30 to 10:30, that's what we call the sweet spot. So what's the big difference? Well, the danger in those first 15 minutes really comes down to one thing: fake outs. This is when all the overnight orders from retail traders hit the system at once. It causes these huge, wild price swings that look like a strong trend, but then bam, they reverse in a heartbeat, trapping anyone who jumped the gun. And this is exactly why patience pays off. By about 9:30 a.m., that initial noise starts to fade away. And that's when the big money, the institutional funds, they start making their real moves. This is when you can actually see the true, sustainable trends for the day starting to take shape. All right, on to Act 2. After that morning chaos, the market just takes a breath. From around 10:30 in the morning to 2 in the afternoon, we drift into this midday lull. Volume drops, volatility dries up, and the market usually just chops sideways. It really is like an intermission in the play. But even this quiet period has its own set of rules. If you're a momentum trader, it's a dangerous place to be because prices just aren't going anywhere. If you're an options buyer, watch out for theta decay. Your options are literally losing value as the clock ticks. But it's not all bad. It's actually a fantastic time for range-bound strategies. Oh, and keep an eye on your watch because when the European markets open, you can sometimes get a little jolt of energy. And now for the grand finale. Act 3, the closing hour. From 2 p.m. onwards, things start to get interesting again. The energy picks right back up. This is when all the big institutions and day traders start to close out their positions for the day, to square off before the bell rings. And all that closing action, it creates a second power hour. We see another big spike in volume and volatility, and this is where you can see some really dramatic moves. I'm talking sharp V-shaped recoveries or sudden steep sell-offs as everyone scrambles to close their books. Okay, now if you're trading in this final hour, this time right here is absolutely critical. 3:10 p.m. You need to burn this into your brain. This should be your non-negotiable deadline for closing out any of your open intraday positions yourself. So why 3:10 specifically? Well, it's because most brokers start their automatic square-off process right after that, usually somewhere between 3:15 and 3:20. And if they have to close your position for you, you not only lose total control over your exit price, but you're probably going to get slapped with extra fees. Closing by 3:10 keeps you in the driver's seat. So, we've walked through the market's 3 acts, but here's the most important part. Not every act is right for every trader. The real skill is matching your personal trading style to the market's internal clock. All right, let's play matchmaker. If you're a scalper, you need that high liquidity, so you're gonna love the first 45 minutes. Are you a momentum trader? Your sweet spot is more like 9:45 to 11 a.m. after a clear trend has been set. Now, if you're selling options, that quiet midday lull is your best friend. You can just sit back and collect that time decay. And for all you reversal traders out there, that final closing hour is perfect for catching those big end-of-day swings.
So after breaking down the whole day and matching it up with different strategies, you find that it all really boils down to one simple, incredibly powerful golden rule. First things first, have the discipline to just wait. Let these first 15 minutes pass. Let the dust settle. Let somebody else get caught in the fake outs. Then, focus all your energy on this window. This single hour is the most potent, most effective time frame for most intraday strategies.
Because here's what it all comes down to. The golden rule is this. The absolute best time to trade is at that perfect intersection of high volatility, meaning the price is actually moving, and high liquidity, meaning you can get in and out of your trades without a problem. And for the vast majority of us trading in the Indian market, that perfect intersection, that sweet spot, happens right between 9:30 a.m. and 10:30 a.m. It's that magic moment when the early chaos has vanished, but the day's true momentum is just getting started. So just remember this, patience is a position. Sometimes the absolute best trade you can make is the one you don't take in those first few crazy minutes. So with that in mind, what's your first move going to be tomorrow?